And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax. We've want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our citizens, we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a time to be alive, man. What's going on, family? I hope everybody that's tuned in right now that you were blessed, well, and healthy. That December is off to a great start for you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, the neighbors, the strangers around the world, man. You know, and whether you like it or not, President Trump is your president. He has made some big announcements. He's told you over and over and over. He's sent out multiple warnings. And at this point, he's just repeating himself, you know. And hey, a lot love it. Some hate it. Some agree, some disagree. But right now, trending worldwide is Trump and income tax. Oh boy. Trump and income tax, y'all. And I had to repost this. We seen this one go from DC, went viral last night. And it was, if Trump replaces federal income tax with tariffs, he will go down as the greatest president in U.S. history since George Washington. What do y'all think of that? I know some of y'all gonna say this, they gonna say that, they gonna say, but Rick, what do y'all think of that this tweet right here? Let me know. I'll blow it up for you. If Trump replaces federal income tax with tariffs, he will go down as the greatest president in U.S. history since George Washington. Oh boy. And again, as you can see, he's just in a week span, he's just repeated himself that the end of income tax is coming soon. What do y'all think of that, man? And y'all know what I say. The hell with the IRS. Abolish it. It should have never existed. You know, a lot of things should have never existed, should have never happened, should have never taken place. You know, the American people, the taxpayers have been spit on in this corrupt scam matrix. Blood, sweat, and tears, man. People done died, you know, believing in this system, man. You know, it's a disgrace. But as you can see, Trump has broke the internet. Everybody just posting the same clips, you know. But Trump says Americans may soon pay no income tax. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Whew. Let me see what Dr. Steve talking about. Dr. Steve on.
April 15th.
He says Trump just triggered the collapse of the IRS.
15th was just another day. No filing, no forms, no receipts, and no IRS looking over your shoulder. And that's because there wouldn't be an IRS.
And that would be a beautiful thing, man. Imagine y'all not having to do this, file, you know, more money in the people's pockets. I mean, it's a lot of good, man, you know. And it's crazy because only Trump is the only president that has brought forth these things. Love or hate the man. But this is why so many people have flocked to President Trump. He's the only president that is for these things. And I'm saying we got to get a lot of these wins to happen, man. Before he leaves office, we got to get these wins to happen, man. It will change. It will make history, in my opinion. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section down below. You know.
Sound impossible? Well, then you didn't just hear what President Trump announced today from the Oval Office. The federal income tax is about to go extinct. This isn't just political rhetoric. It's the signal of a massive structural shift that's already underway. The IRS is already collapsing from the inside And the numbers show that the era of the income tax may be coming to an end by necessity, not just by choice. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor.
And he's been repeating for so long. And just this year alone, Trump has come out and said it, I would say 20, 30, 40 times. In different press conferences, different interviews, live on television, live here, live there. You know, they asked him this. Trump repeats the same thing over and over and over. And most of the conversations have to do with the tariffs.
Going yet another wonderful front row to smack bring home just how much from the Oval Office. President Trump just announced once again that paying income taxes will soon be a thing of the past.
Next year is projected to be the largest tax refund season ever, and we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars, and we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people, in addition to reducing debt. As you know, I inherited a lot of debt, but it's peanuts compared to the kind of numbers we're talking about. So we're going to be making a dividend to the people, and additionally, we're going to be able to reduce debt. And as time goes by, over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up. And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay, because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax.
Now, as many of you know, Trump has been floating this idea for some time, which is just another way of saying that he's having his people work out the kinks of the proposal. But Trump definitely wants to be the president who will go down in history as the one who ended once and for all the income tax, the federal income tax, which will forever enshrine him, in my opinion, as the greatest president in all of American history, bar none. Now, in fact, he's fond of saying that he wants to see the Internal Revenue Service replaced with an external revenue service, where tariffs, taxes, and other countries become the primary source of federal revenue. Now, what's so key here is to recognize that this goes way beyond tariffs. It goes way beyond anything that the legacy media is going to tell you in their desperate bid to try to disparage this insanely and overwhelmingly popular proposal. Again, there are few issues that more Americans would agree on than ridding, not cutting, not reducing, ridding this world of the IRS. But putting all that aside, there is an inconvenient truth here that the legacy media is desperately trying to hide from you. They're trying to hide the current state of the IRS. And what they're not telling you is the IRS, as we speak, is literally crumbling. The IRS is falling apart, and it's been imploding now for some time. According to internal data, IRS enforcement staffing has plummeted by 34% in recent years. They're bleeding personnel. I mean, we're seeing a workforce reduction so severe that the agency now audits just 0.38% of all tax revenues. Yes, you heard that right. 0.38%, an all-time historic low. And for those who think the IRS is only hunting the rich, yeah, think again. Audit rates for millionaires have dropped by over 70%. To put it rather mildly, the enforcement machine is broken. It simply cannot keep up with the complexity of the modern economy or the sheer volume of the tax code. But here's the real crisis driving Trump's decision to change course now, at this moment. It's not just that the tax collector is weak, it's that the government is broke. I mean, you heard Trump himself talk about the mess he inherited from the auto pen in chief. We've entered nothing less than a doom loop of spending. So in the first 7 months of the fiscal year 2024 alone, the U.S. government spent $514 billion on net interest payments on the national debt alone. Now let that sink in. We are now spending more on serving our debt than we spend on national defense. We spend more on interest than on Medicare. The government is borrowing money just to pay the interest on the money it already borrowed. Since 2019, for every single tax dollar, for every single dollar of new tax revenue that comes into the federal government has added a staggering $158 in new spending. I don't know what math they're using, but bottom line, they spend nearly $160 for every $1 of tax revenue they take in. Our national debt is climbing by $1 trillion every 100 days. This is why the old system is dead. You simply cannot tax your way out of a debt spiral this deep. The tax code itself is already a 4 million word monster designed for political favors, not for raising revenue. It's an architecture of an old age that can no longer survive in the modern world. It simply doesn't matter how many more millions of words you add to the tax code. What's going to fix it? If it's not 4 million words, what? Will 6 million words fix it? Will 8 million words fix it? It's not going to change because the system itself is broken. And that is precisely where Trump's tariff plan comes in. Wait until you see this. President Trump has made it absolutely clear the future belongs in tax revenue over 10 years. Trump has just announced he's already raised that in tariffs in a matter of a few months. Again, let that hit you.
Boy.
That's the power of Trump's tariff plan. It's about tapping into a massive global source of income for our federal government, all the while unleashing the American taxpayer. Now, this is not a new idea. It's actually a return, right? It's a form of retraditionalization that we talk about all the time on this channel. It's a return to America's roots. It's the essence of making America great again. From 1790 to 1860, the United States government was funded almost entirely by tariffs. Again, let that hit you. For nearly the first century of our existence as a nation, there was no income tax.
No income tax.
That was the era when America became an economic superpower. Trump said
we had so much money we didn't know what to do with it.
Proposal to swap income tax for tariffs is a pivot back to that model, back to what made America great. Taxing foreign consumption rather than American labor. It's a move that bypasses the broken IRS bureaucracy entirely. Instead of chasing 150 million Americans for tax forms, the government collects revenue at the ports. Instead of politicizing the tax code and using it for cheap political gain, like taxing the rich or exempting this group or that group from taxes, the entire income tax burden would be completely lifted, igniting an economic explosion the likes of which this country has never seen. Now, critics are going to be very quick to say that tariffs can't replace income tax revenue. They'll argue that tariffs alone won't be able to cover the nearly $5 trillion.
That's what all the experts are saying, and we see how it's played out for the experts.
The government spends. And they're right if spending stays the same. But that's the quiet part of this plan. It forces a reckoning. When you move to a tariff-based system, you're capping the government's ability to spend endlessly. You're starving the beast. You're forcing a permanent doging of government departments to cut out all the waste, fraud, and abuse. Again, they can no longer politicize the tax code. They can no longer promise to tax the top 1%. Or if you're Zoran Mamdani, they can no longer promise to tax the more white neighborhoods. All that ends with this Trump tariff plan. Now, government has to live within its means, within a capped system of revenue that can't be politicized with resentment and envy. The writing is on the wall. The IRS is shrinking. The debt is exploding. The current tax system is mathematically unsustainable. Whether it happens next year or in the next decade, the transition away from income tax is coming. Trump has just accelerated the timeline. The game is changing. The only question left is, are you prepared for what comes next?
Oh boy. Y'all prepared for what comes next, family? Now let me know in the comment section, man. I told y'all, man, some big things are gonna happen under this president. Some big things are gonna take place, man. And I told y'all, I'm just throwing it out there. He might go down as will go down as the greatest president of my lifetime, your lifetime, of our lifetime. You know, again, of a lot of these things. Again, and he's screaming about every single day. You know, like I showed y'all in that viral tweet. People want this to happen. Majority of Americans, you know, a lot of things Trump has talked about, proposed, you know, a lot of people are for it. Now, I know some are not for the 50-year mortgages and this and that. You know, a lot of people have disagreements with, you know, a lot of things. And some might have disagreements with the income tax. Let me know how y'all feel about income tax and the IRS. Let me know in the comment section down below. You know, I've seen in previous videos we've done on the show, y'all are hotter than fish grease. People are sick of it. People want it all abolished. Y'all want property tax. I mean, everything. And I'm with y'all. As a homeowner, I agree with everything y'all be saying in the comment section. Everything. We are all sick of this crap, man. It's just a complete corrupt scam matrix. Everything's taxed. You tax when you eat. You tax when you buy this. You tax when you do this. You tax when you leave the store. You tax when you die. It's just tax. People are sick of it. They've had enough of it. You know, you will never own your home. You don't pay your taxes. They'll take your god doggone home. They'll do this. I mean, it's a disgrace, man. Tax. The corrupt scam matrix. What we call it, man. But there's one man that stands in the way and says we got to do things a different way. Matter of fact, we got to do things how we were doing it before when we did it. You know? Let's go back to this. You know, this is when things were actually was good and great, and you know. Let's go back to this right here. Let's take it all the way back. But hey, we'll see what's coming next, man. Another big warning from President Trump of what the future will look like. And again, all we can do is continue to pray, hope, have faith, and that he keeps our best interest in heart, and that this plan all works out the way it's supposed to. You know, again, Trump has made some big promises, and he's done some big things and achieved some big promises just in the last couple of months, as we've seen. You know, he told you what he was going to do on day one. He told you he was going to do this. You know, I know he said everything was going to be affordable on day one, but we know how. Come on now. If you know how the economy works, let's be real. You know, but that's the Democrats' talking point. That's their gaslighting point. You know, they come out and scream to the top of their lungs. Your president said on day one, you know. But we know what it's all about, man. We know we've seen the sabotaging, the backstabbing, and everything. We've seen the Democrat shutdown, the Schumer shutdown, you know, how disgraceful Congress is, how we need term limits. I mean, we can go down the list, man. People need to be held accountable. It's people walking around smiling, giggling, and they ought to be put in handcuffs, you know. But hey, we're going to see what takes place. I love you guys. God bless you all and your family. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, you guys.